locally, the tri-state has had its fair share of controversial Native American mascot names. Miami University changed its mascot from the Redskins to the RedHawks. That was in the 90s. And most recently, leadership at Anderson High School voted to retire the name as well. Reporter Marielle Carbone takes a look back at the history and how it has developed here.
The death of George Floyd is sparking conversations about racism all across our country, and that includes racism towards Native Americans. But that discussion had actually happened here in Oxford more than 2 decades ago when tribe leaders asked for change. It's been more than 2 decades since fans at Miami University cheered on the Redskins.
I think it was a very controversial decision. I don't think it was one that was made lightly.
The Miami tribe asked the university to change its mascot in 1996. In 97, it did, to the RedHawks. Garrett Strauss, director of Miami Tribe Relations, says all these years later, there's still some pushback.
There was a lot of alumni pushback to people who saw Redskins as a part of their Miami identity, part of their experience of going to school at Miami, and felt like I think something had been taken away from them.
But she says it was necessary.
Native people have been calling for the change of race-based mascots for a very long time.
And 2 decades later,
it's a different time.
Forest Hill School Board voted to drop the Redskins name from Anderson High School.
Was a lot of work.
Philip Yenyo, director of the American Indian Movement of Ohio, says it's not surprising things have taken so long to change.
You know, people are steeped in their traditions and their history, and they don't realize that a lot of their traditions and history are based on racism.
He's been advocating across Ohio for 30 years, specifically with the Cleveland Indians.
We want a seat at the table.
He's hopeful the Washington Redskins announcement is a step in the right direction.
To see us as human beings, to see us as we are now, is also a big thing that needs to be learned.
That is the first step, right? And that there's so much more work to be done before people truly understand what it means to be a Native person.
And at Miami University, Strauss says that a lot of the progress you've seen over the last 2 decades wouldn't have been possible without that name change, like the creation of the Miami Center, as well as a program that's bringing 30 tribal students to attend the university here this fall. Reporting from Oxford, Marielle Carbone, WCPO 9 News.
Well, as Marielle mentioned, earlier this month, the Forest Hill School Board voted to drop the Redskins mascot name at Anderson High School. The school will form a committee to determine a new mascot, and a GoFundMe account has been launched to help cover the cost of the change. The Atlanta Braves do not plan to change its name, but the team said an advisory group will review the tomahawk chop. That's an arm movement done by fans at home games to root for the Braves. The team released a statement saying the Braves honor, respect, and value the Native American community, and as an organization has drawn strength from diversity and respect for all. The team goes on to say it had conversations with several Native American communities, and changing the name of the Braves is not considered necessary.